Hello, YouTube. Hey guys, it's Sean here with Stealing Second, coming to you today with a video response to Joey Brings It video contest. Um, Really great contest, great discussion. He had asked the question of, what are you a collector of? Are you more the vintage guy or are you a modern collector? um, and basically for the prices of things and how they're selling in today's market, which one, if you had $20,000, what would be a purchase that you would make, and what would be a card that you would actually go for? So, for me personally, I am a both guy. I really like to collect vintage. There's a lot of personal history tied to that. Growing up, just reading the Beckett magazines, and wishing I had a lot of these cards that I'm able to purchase today. And then on the other side, on the modern side, it's to me it's hard not to get behind to want to buy these guys. I collect rookie cards, as if you've watched my channel in the past. Um, so when I watch games and play throughout the whole season, watching, and it just makes me want to go and chase rookies of some of these guys that are playing now. Kind of the same way to some of the junk wax era, 80s and 90s and prior. The guys I grew up watching, it was the same way. I watched them and I wanted their cards. At that time, I just couldn't afford them, to where now I can. So now I can actually make a run at them. So with that said, I definitely collect both, pursue both, and I can definitely understand where people come from when they collect one or the other. If you look at it like the stock market, vintage cards are very safe for the most part in the investment side of them, depending on when you buy and how you buy. Um, so to me, they're a pretty safe investment. To where modern cards, there's a lot of stuff still left up in the air. Even with guys like Mike Trout, who at this point is pretty much guaranteed Hall of Fame status. But what if, God forbid, Mike Trout was career-ending injury tomorrow? Had a Bo Jackson moment, blows out a hip, can't recover from it, career's over. Is he going to go down as one of the greatest baseball players of all time, or is he going to go down as just a great baseball player, which would really impact the cost of and value of their cards for future generations of people who didn't necessarily grow up watching these guys. So that's a worry I have for the modern players. It's more high risk. Now, when it comes to prospecting, things like that, um, I dabble in it. I'll pick up some guys for very inexpensive prices. I'm not knocking anybody who does get heavily into prospecting, but to me personally, that's a it's a game. It's basically gambling. You're putting money down on black five and spinning the roulette wheel and hoping that that money's going to pan out. We've, as being a lifetime fan of baseball, we've seen prospects come and go, and that always worries me. So for me personally, I can't justify spending big money on players that aren't proven. So going back to what I would do personally, to his question with, if I had 20 grand to go buy, he named, I think, 6 cards, to what would be your investment? Mine would be, off of that list he named, it would be that 52 Mantle. It is a no-brainer to me. Very safe investment, awesome card, and it's a card that I looked at Beckett magazine every day of my childhood and drooled about. Wished I had that card, partly because of the financial side, but partly also just because it's kind of the holy grail of baseball cards in my mind. So for me, to answer your question, Joey, I would invest the money in a vintage card that I feel is a little safer, and also is a card that I've got a lifetime of drool on. So that would be where I would go. I'm curious to see what everybody else has to say about this, their thoughts. They can leave them in the comments below. If you are a creator, go check out Joey Brings It's YouTube page. Joey does a lot of really cool stuff, shows off some cards, does some very generous giveaways, this being one. So check out his channel, and I'm curious to see what everybody else's thoughts are on this. So I appreciate it, and talk to you guys soon.